What's going on, guilty guys and gals? Welcome back to another Multiversus video. I thought I'd better get this one out there into the ether before we see another trailer, because I do believe that Multiversus will be having another trailer or showcase of some kind before the open beta and during this like hype season of June. So I wanted to get my wish list of the top 10 characters I want to see in the game. There's actually 11 of them. Actually, if you count more, there's even more of them, but well, you'll see what I mean. I actually am kind of surprised by my own picks, but this is what I've done. So hey, if you don't see a character on here that you think is a natural pick, there's probably a reason why. That is because either I think they're like a lock for the game, like I don't feel the need to wish for them to be in the game because I feel like they're just gonna be there, or the character is already wink in the game. Wink, if you know what I mean. So I didn't feel the need to bring them up here because I have a strong inclination to think that they will be showing up anyway. So yeah, we're going to start with the stupidest choice of mine, which is why it's number 10, and that is Fred Jones. We already have two, maybe more Scooby-Doo characters in this game. Why do I want Fred, of all people? Well, actually, it's because I think he serves perfectly for a certain genre of fighter, which is a trapper character. Someone who lays traps across the stage and lures you to trigger them and then does massive damage or whatever. Think of like Solid Snake in Smash Bros. Or Isabelle in Smash Bros. And I think Fred perfectly fits this role. I think the only character that sort of kind of tiptoes into this area is Harley Quinn in the current build of the game. But I think Fred would do it pretty well, and I also think it would be very funny. I mean, if you're going to make this game, how can you not have Fred as a trapped character? It just makes too much sense. The next one here is Godzilla. I mean, we've got the Iron Giant. We know that giant characters can be in the game. Godzilla's gotta be in the game at this point, right? It'd honestly be like a character I just assume is gonna get in the game. If not for the fact that Godzilla is so big, I could see there being some problems with shrinking them down. But, I mean, come on. There's so much potential. I didn't talk about like moves sets or anything for Fred. But like with Godzilla, you've got like the nuclear power, you've got the beams, you've got the tail swipes. There's so many memes you could drag in too, like the stupid attack from one of the movies, or I think Godzilla's appeared in a quote-unquote fighting game before, with like tail swipes and stuff. There's just so much you can pull from. It's such a varied history. I would be shocked if Godzilla was not in the game at all. Okay, so the number 8 slot is a little different because it's actually two characters, but it's like it's a dichotomy, a scale. Only one can make it in, and it's another Steven Universe character, which is why I feel like we only need one more, and that is Jasper and Lapis. Lapis has a lot of potential for her moveset because she's basically a waterbender. With the water wings, she could glide like Batman. She's a fan favorite character. There's a lot of like interesting references you could pull from for stuff like costumes and all that. And then Jasper is probably the most recognizable villain from Steven Universe. Just like the apex soldier. And she's got a like sonic spin dash move. She's got a lot of like headbutting moves. There's an alt with horns. I don't know. I just think one of these two is like a natural fit for the game. I would love to see either of them way more than Pearl or Amethyst. And that's all I'm saying. Okay, and that's the like sort of lukewarm picks out of the way. Now we're into just spicy hot takes the whole time through. Are you ready for this? 'Cause number 7 is Austin Powers. Randy, baby. Oh, yes. The pick for like a spy-esque character in this game is basically between Agent 47 and Austin Powers. And I mean, come on. This game is embracing the memes. It's gotta be. If they could get the rights to it, of course. There's like infinite possibilities for costumes. There is so much like funny moveset potential in like weird, just what would you call that, physical comedy moments. I don't know. I just think it would be very, very funny, and I hope to see it. I hope to see it. I haven't really talked about like team-based moves. I said I was going to do that because everybody has at least one team-based move, and it's kind of hard because, you know, they could be anything, right? But I could see, you know, Austin Powers having some sort of groovy drug that helps your opponent or your enemies or your ally, excuse me, gives them a stat buff of some kind. I don't know. All right. We're going on to number 6 here. Number 6, it's a horror rep. Is it Jason? No. Is it Pennywise the Clown? No. It's Freddy Krueger. I mean, out of the 3 of them, Jason is pretty iconic, but his moveset would be pretty bare bones, right? Just grabbing and slicing. There's not too much else to him. Freddy Krueger has got so many, like, wild powers you could pull from for moves. And I feel like the game should have some sort of horror character represented in it, because there's a lot of horror movies that WB has a hand in, so at least one of them should get into the game, I'd think. And out of any of them, I think Freddy Krueger is simultaneously the most interesting and also the least, like, inherently violent, because he's a dream demon, you know? I don't know. I just think it'd be interesting. Plus, I almost forgot to mention, Freddy Krueger has been in Mortal Kombat, so there is some precedence for him in this game. Alright, so I really thought there would be more of these kinds of characters on the list, but this is our only cartoon character, which is the Powerpuff Girls. It is shocking to me that we have 2 sort of modern era Cartoon Network characters and no classic Cartoon Network characters. We don't have Samurai Jack or the Powerpuff Girls or Johnny Bravo or Dexter. None of those. And they must be coming, right? Like, there has to be at least a couple. And the Powerpuff Girls would be my natural choice. It's a superhero character without being a DC character, and they're also memed a lot. There's a lot of memes around the city of Townsville. Like the whole, you know...
Why shouldn't you put a toaster in a bathtub full of water?
Because your toast would get soggy.
Those kind of memes. I could see them working as a tag team fighter, as in, like, it's all 3 of them and they do different moves depending on, like, a different character does each directional move. Like, maybe Bubbles does up airs, and Blossom does forward attacks, and then Buttercup does down attacks. I don't know. But I could also see them just being skins, because their powers are literally exactly the same, other than the fact that Blossom has Ice Breath. That's the only useful one anyway. The other 2 do have different powers. Like, I think it's Buttercup can curl her tongue, and Bubbles can do something that I don't remember. But just don't include the Ice Breath. I mean, Superman's already got it, and they're interchangeable. I think, you know, you could have them as skins. You could have them as all one fighter. But I think they're the most possible of any of these trio characters that are potentially here for just being skins. So after that, it's time to move on to number 4, which is maybe an interesting choice. Not one I imagined myself making, but here we are. It's BeetleJuice. Specifically, like, the more cartoony version of BeetleJuice, not less so the, like, movie version, but the movie version also works. I don't know why. I don't even particularly like BeetleJuice. I just think he's a perfect sort of character for this game. sort of like a Wario type character, which I know Taz is already kind of like that, but BeetleJuice would lean into the gross factor. I could totally see a move like a dash attack where he does like a spin and then like his head keeps rotating and he has to grab it to stop it. Something like that. Just like bad breath, some sort of scare move that acts like Bugs Bunny's charm. I could see any of those. I just think he's got a good potential for the game. And BeetleJuice is known for being sort of a team-up character. I mean, he's kind of a sidekick, despite, the series being named BeetleJuice. So there's some interesting potential for what you could do for team moves. Again, I'm not the biggest BeetleJuice fan, so I couldn't tell you right off the bat, but I'm sure there is a decent idea out there for something like that. And yeah, I just think BeetleJuice would be a fun addition. So that's all it takes to get you to number 4, I guess. But yeah, it just feels right to me. I can't explain it. All right, now we're into the top 3, and these 3, I really want them in the game for very different reasons. So we're gonna start with another trio. It's the Warner siblings. Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. Now, I was talking about with the Powerpuff Girls before, the idea of a 3-in-1 fighter where the 3, one of them does up attacks, one of them does forward attacks, and one of them does down attacks. And that was actually because I felt like that's how these 3 should work in the game. You have Dot ride on Yakko's shoulders, and then Wacko just like running around frantically around his feet. Wacko does all the low attacks, Yakko does all the middle attacks, and Dot does all the up attacks. And there's just so much potential for moveset when it comes to the Animaniacs that it's actually kind of insane. It's just like Bugs Bunny or Tom and Jerry, except they're kind of like... The fact that they are cartoony like that is kind of the joke in their series. So you could pull a lot of like weird ideas. One of their moves would definitely have to be a net, though. I mean, it's... someone did find a WB water tower stage in the game, so I think it's fairly likely that they do show up in the game. The water tower could just be because it's iconic to Warner Bros. Too, so I can't say for sure, but I can hope. This is probably my most actually wanted character in terms of like being all around good, both good for the game and good because I like them. But the next 2 are good for completely different reasons. Number 2, it's Robin. Now I know what you're thinking. Whoa, why would Robin be in the game? He's basically just Batman. There are ways you can differentiate the 2 of them. I feel like Batman is far more projectile-based, at least in terms of like the way he plays in the game. He has the smoke bomb and the batarangs. He's basically meant to serve as almost like a supportive tank in a way, just to, control space. And I feel like Robin would be kind of the opposite, because Robin is a much more close combat character, which would actually make them complement each other if you played them on the same team. I mean, it writes itself. I feel like if you use the Teen Titans sort of Robin, or like closer to Nightwing, you could do the bow staff, which would definitely differentiate him from Batman. Although he could still have like the little Robin. What are those even called? Robin rings? I don't know. He could still have those and like some explosives or something. But I would see him being basically almost like a clone character, but a little different. Like he's lighter than Batman, faster than Batman, more physically oriented than Batman, but like a little weaker and, lighter, so he dies earlier. The reason I really want him in the game is just because Robin's like my favorite DC character. I just grew up really liking Robin from watching Teen Titans and then reading certain comics where I was just like, oh, Robin's the best. The only way I would hate if they added Robin to this game would be if it was Damian Wayne. I don't think they would, because I think they're very in tune with the sort of discourse around these characters, and they would kind of understand the fact that people don't really like Damian Wayne. I could see him being a skin, but please, I do not want just Robin as like a generic sword fighter. That would be the worst thing imaginable to me. But yeah, like a semi-clone of Batman. I think that'd be interesting, actually. And obviously this game doesn't have any of that yet because we've seen so little of the roster. But I think it'd be cool. And yeah, you know, that was 10 characters, right? Because Lapis and Jasper were in one spot. Wait, I hear something. Oh no! Come, watch out! You thought it would be someone else, but it's me, Dio! I mean, do I even have to explain why Dio is my most wanted character in this game? I don't even watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but this game is practically made to add this character into the game. Apparently Warner Bros. Has a hand in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I didn't know that before I looked it up because of this game. You could add any character from that series, but for the memes, I feel like it has to be Dio, right? Like, they could even do a trailer like Lucina and Robin's from the Smash 4 days where you see Chrom on the ground or whatever and you're like, oh, it's Chrom! And then it ended up being Lucina and Robin. It could be something like that where they show Josuke fighting somebody and then he loses and it's like, you thought it would be him, but it's me, Dio! I mean, come on. It's like... It writes itself. What can I say? It just has to happen. But yeah, that's my wish list of my top 10 fighters for this game. There are a lot of other fighters that have been leaked or hinted at that I am quite excited about as well. This game just, it feels good. I don't know. I want it to be good. And it's looking like it's getting there. So count me a happy camper. Even if, like, we get 2 of the characters off this wish list, I think I'll be happy. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy, you know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe. I'm still going to do the costume video series. I'm still doing it. So if you want to see more Multiversus stuff, you know how to let me know. You do. You gotta like and comment. So, yeah. I will see you guys next time. Bye.